Bonjour et bienvenue dans le monde du rugby. This is the Rugby World Crunch knockout round. What a beautiful display of rugby shown last weekend. From having 8 teams trying to compete for the coveted Webb Ellis Trophy, now we are down to the Fantastic Four. What a weekend it was for the rugby fraternity. Not so great for those who fell short, but the quality, the high octane, the drama from all the 4 fixtures had the millions glued to their screens. It certainly did live up to the expectations. Each game was won by margins which were marginal, and each game was won by a special moment. Nicolas Sanchez's interception, Courtney Law's turnover at the death, Sam Whitelock's turnover at the death, Eben Etzebeth with a match-winning try at the end, and Andre Pollard's 52-meter penalty. The first game between Wales and Argentina was always going to be a spicy affair, more especially not knowing which Argentina was going to show up on the day. Well, the smash and grab Argentina rocked up late on Friday. Los Pumas came into the quarterfinals at the Stade Velodrome as underdogs, having finished Pool D runners-up to England. Argentina played the territorial game and, while not shining in attack, proved to be solid in defence. Boffelli dragged an early penalty attempt wide after some sustained pressure as Wales responded with an expansive game. Star winger Lewis Zammit was involved in 3 ensuing Welsh attacks, twice unable to make anything of chip and chases. Towards the latter stages, North and Rio Dyer came racing up the pitch, Matthias Moroni producing a dramatic try-saving tackle on Rhys Zammit in the corner. Argentina fly-off Nicolas Sanchez put the icing on the cake with an interception of a Sam Costello pass for a try, Boffelli converting. Another veteran hooker, Augustin Creevy, then made a crucial turnover at the death. Boffelli made no mistake by converting that penalty. Many may have predicted for a Welsh victory, but they're not surprised by an Argentine triumph. Fiji's World Cup fairy tale came to a devastating end as England edged the Island Boys in last weekend's quarterfinal fixture. It was a fierce opening to the game with Fiji's famed tacklers to the fore, winning a couple of early turnovers, but it was after England's first turnover, claimed by Courtney Laws, that Farrell was able to kick a simple penalty from under the posts. The match seemed to have taken a decisive turn on 24 minutes as England poured forward, with Merchant stepping inside despite an overlap to score a second try. The second half turned into a war of attrition and became increasingly scrappy and fractious, with the 2 teams' open side flankers Curry and Levani Botia almost coming to blows at one stage. But the game came alive on 64 minutes when replacement prop Rovai hit a perfect line onto Simeone Kuruvoli's pass to blast over and score. Farrell had the last word though, and despite Fiji playing on almost 6 minutes after the final hooter, they could not find a winning converted try. A game Fiji may have felt they could have taken in the end, but England rugby in Rugby World Cups slaps different. Ireland versus the All Blacks was mind-boggling. Ireland unbeaten for 17 games, winning the Six Nations Grand Slam, winning the series in New Zealand for the first time in their history, number 1 in the world for 18 months. The All Blacks only had their pride and the Gabobanga. Three-time champions New Zealand inflicted more World Cup heartbreak on Ireland on Saturday. The All Blacks avenged a historic home series defeat at the hands of Ireland last year, taking their chances when they had them in clinical fashion at the Stade de France. The defeat ended Ireland's run of 17 successive Test victories and denied Andy Farrell's team's chance of a first-ever semi-final. As in the first half, the All Blacks proved clinical in punishing them for unforced errors. Will Jordan finished off a brilliant break by Mo'unga, and Jordie Barrett landed the conversion for 25-17 with 25 minutes remaining. Things just weren't going Ireland's way as Sexton opted to go for goal, but sent his penalty wide as groans rang around the stadium with the clock ticking towards the hour mark. Sexton, having gone for a touch with another penalty, clapped his hands and waved his arms in the air to gee up the Irish supporters. It worked as the decibel levels went into another stratosphere, and even more so, Barnes awarded an Irish penalty try and sin-binned Cody Taylor to leave it 25-24 with 16 minutes to play. But Jordie Barrett stretched the lead to 28 points to 28 with 11 minutes remaining with another long-range penalty. The Irish pounded away in the dying minutes, phase after phase of attack, but the All Blacks stood firm, and 38-year-old Sexton was left to contemplate what would have been as the whistle blew on his extraordinary career. Salute. Springboks versus France, holders versus the hosts. This has to be the most high-octane rugby match you'll ever witness. Punch after punch, try after try, trick after trick. It was a battle of rugby brains and hungry superhumans. It had to be the behemoth Eben Etzebeth with the try towards the end, and Mr. Coolhead, Andre Pollard, with the 52-meter penalty conversion. It was a match of insanity, of beauty and brutality, as the world champions displayed precisely why they hold their title, as they produced a display of remarkable resilience. It could be said that this was the Springboks' definitive performance as they conquered one of the best sides in the world and a crowd of 80,000. A second-half try from Eben Etzebeth was the straw that broke the French backbone from a moment of courage as the Boks ran the ball from the base. It was a game of two halves in terms of pace, with the Springboks' discipline and set piece just about doing enough to see them home as they controlled the tempo of the second half. For all the planning, France had many answers, but South Africa did just enough to deserve to shade it, as their huge pressure and intelligent tactics caused France to cascade a number of errors.
Pollard from 52 metres. The flags are up.
At test level, you ride your luck, and with Kwagga Smith creating havoc in carry and breakdown, and with Oxen Chair turning the even scrum battle in South Africa's favour, cracks appeared in the French armour, and bluntly they folded under pressure. What a mighty display from the Bok bench, and it goes without question that they were the fundamental difference between the two sides on Sunday. What an extraordinary weekend in the Rugby World Cup, with earth-shaking performances and pulsating entertainment since the beginning of the tournament. And as we get closer to the World Cup final in Paris, it's the Fantastic Four locking heads this weekend in the semi-final. Here's how they look this weekend. Los Pumas making their second appearance in a French Rugby World Cup. But can they get through a valiant All Blacks team high on confidence? Don't miss it on Friday at 9 p.m. Saturday is the repeat of the 2019 Rugby World Cup final. That loss will still be fresh on English minds as the Springboks continue their surge to defend the Webb Ellis Trophy. Catch it at 9 p.m. That's the Rugby World Crunch quarter-final round. It came and it went. This weekend, it's a week closer to the final in Paris. Argentina, All Blacks, England, the Springboks. Who's going home this weekend? See you next week.
Vamos!